let alone his ceiling is as high as anybody in the draft. He could be a superstar. He could be Myles Garrett. He could be one of the best pass rushers in football. And I see him disrupt a ton of plays. So I love that. I love the physical ability. I love the size. He's never going to have an issue with anybody there. And then I also love the untapped potential.
Again, the kid, there's no excuses in him, and it's all positive for us. There's no negative here. This is a heck of a pick for us. We're excited about him. We're excited about his athleticism, about his toughness, about his play style, all those things. So
the Cincinnati Bengals have finished the draft process, have finished their off-season ordeals, their free agency signings, their re-signings, the extensions of T. Higgins and Jamar in the books. We have the new defensive coach. What is happening in the year 2025? We're going to dive into that. And of course, we have to talk about the draft picks. I have a full-on breakdown of each guy. We're probably going to be able to go through most of the draft picks, not all of them, but we are going to get to the meat potatoes of it. First things first, Alex Kappa, who led the NFL in quarterback hurries, quarterback pressures, like the simple fact that he's out of the building. Our offensive line is going to be at a great note. We have, of course, Dylan Fairchild, as well as Jalen Rivers as our new offensive interior replacement for the Alex Kappa. And so those guys are going to be two dudes that I'm going to be talking about. I'm very, very happy that they're on our roster. Trent Brown, former right tackle who played, maybe 1 or 2 games with us before having the unfortunate injury. And Amarius Mims was able to come in and take over his role and do a bang-up job. Sheldon Rankins heads back to Houston, where we got him from. It looks like with his injury and the way things were going on with our defense, this was not the best fit. So I'm happy that he's able to get out of the building. We're able to reload and refill that interior spots with our younger players. And of course, Sam Hubbard, the Ohio native, the amazing Bengals legend, Sam Hubbard, that is, will be retiring. And so we have a new edge that we need to introduce, a couple of cats that are going to have this opportunity to really shine in this new defense that Al Golden is going to be creating for us Bengals fans. And so that was my whole thing with the draft, right? We'll get into the draft right now, but that was my whole ordeal. Will we address the defense? And I was very, very strict on how I wanted to go about the draft with our defensive end. I'm not going to really talk about who I wanted because it doesn't matter anymore, because we got to talk about who we got. Shemar Stewart, a first-round talent. This is a boom or bust pick. This is a guy that you've already heard the whole rumblings of. The production's not there, but it's all traits. Did we take a traits guy 2 years ago in Myles Murphy? 100%. Has the traits project panned off for us? It has not at all. I'm giving Myles Murphy a little bit of grace, and I'm going to give Shemar Stewart also a little bit of grace. I'm going to give Al Golden the responsibility of me shaming, right, the Shemar Stewart pickup and or the Myles Murphy ability or disability to get better. I'm going to put that in Al Golden's hands, because if he can make something work with Myles Murphy, he can make something work with Shemar Stewart, who is an all-traits guy, right? The amazing 40, the amazing vertical, the amazing broad jump, the amazing look in his uniform, the amazing speed. Like, the traits are there, but the production isn't there. The production is, it's you can pretty much say, given where he played in the SEC, given his traits, you can kind of go out on a limb and it'd be kind of fair that he had no production. You could kind of say that. I do want to give him full grace by saying the defensive coordinator did not know how to use him at A&M, so we got to give him some grace in that regard. But I would like to say a lot of this guy's tools, a lot of what Shemar Stewart has to offer, it's Myles Garrett-esque, right? And so in my personal humble opinion, if we can get anything close to Myles Garrett, whether it be half of Myles Garrett that can go opposite of Trey Hendrickson, 3/4 would be amazing. But if by golly measures, I'm happy that Shemar Stewart is in the building now, right? Now the fact that it's over and it's done with and it is what it is. But I still want to say there's still a lot to go with him. But I want to give Al Golden the opportunity to prove me wrong. if that makes sense. I'm still very excited for the pick. Anything could happen, but I have an opinion. I'm going to stick to it. Demetrius Knight, I was very shocked, but very, very happy about this pick, simply because the Jermaine Pratt, the comments that he had made, A, about wanting to leave, and then B, the comments that he made in the simple fact after the season that we had. I thought it was horrible timing, bad timing for the locker room. I've been wanting him gone ever since he really opened his mouth. I love and I appreciate and respect his turnover ability and kind of how he's able to help in the run game when it's simple run fitting. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like he needs to be a little bit more grateful that he's a part of the Cincinnati Bengals organization. I think he needs to have a little bit more of an awareness tracker as well, because I believe that he did have a little bit of time in the free agency and things didn't, pan out financially, I guess, or opportunity-wise as he had liked. And so the Demetrius Knight into the building, what it does is it helps us get a little bit younger and more athletic in the nickel operation when we have a nickel set out there with having still opportunity to run fit. That's where he's going to be very, very useful for us. Very fast linebacker, east to west kind of guy. I saw him at the Senior Bowl making a lot of plays, is able to play man as well, has some ability to play in zone. So his gifts for us is going to be really speed. It doesn't look like it seemed to look like even though Lou Anarumo is gone, we're still going about the speed approach when it comes to our defense, which I'm happy with. I'm okay with. Demetrius Knight, it's going to be a journey for sure, because once again, Al Gordon is getting this whole new defense in, and him being a rookie, there's going to be a lot less veterans that are going to be able to help carry and push him into the goal line as they're also trying to learn the new defense. And so it's going to be ups and downs for a lot of the defensive guys, but Demetrius Knight is a cat that I'm very excited for to be on the team. Dylan Fairchild and Jalen Rivers, we'll talk about these two cats together, both of them having big time production in the SEC and the ACC, one going to Georgia and Dylan Fairchild and the other one heading to Miami. The reason why I really like, let's go with Jalen Rivers first, his versatility. He's played tackle at Miami, he's played guard at Miami, and he's played a little bit of center at Miami. And at the Senior Bowl, another thing he did was play center. And I actually had an opportunity to interview this kid, and he was very boisterous and very proud in the fact that he was a versatile offensive lineman, very strong, very big, very lean in the gut. Didn't really see any fat on him whatsoever, and a lot of strength. And he has a lot of cerebral moxie to him. Very smart, very engaged into the conversation. And with Dylan Fairchild, I'm going to be honest, us taking him in the third round, that was a name that I wasn't really familiar with, honestly, when it came to Georgia interior guys. I was really looking at Tate Ratledge. I thought that if we were going to go interior offensive lineman, it was going to be a small school or maybe big school athletic former tackle that we were going to transition into an interior guard, because that's kind of our MO. That's kind of what we did. That's what we did with Cordell Volson, former tackle that we put inside into the guard position. And so I kind of figured that's what we were going to do again. But it looks as if we go actually get a Dylan Fairchild, a guy that was a guard for Georgia. And this guy has a former background of being a wrestler. I think that is so crucial, so important. Tyler Linderbaum, who is a cat that was coming through the draft process, when it was told that he was a former wrestler, you start seeing that in the game. And so to have that type of aggression, that type of ability to understand angles and to understand balances within the weight game, that's going to be awesome for us. And he's a big body too. And at the end of the day, I like Cordell Volson as a person, but it doesn't seem as if that small school North Dakota State acumen was ever going to be a real legitimate threat for us within the offensive realm. So I think Dylan Fairchild is already a day one improvement over Cordell Volson and Alex Kappa, even Jalen Rivers getting some love there. I think this is an opportunity that both of those guys are going to be able to possibly slide in kind of easily into that left guard, right guard positions, hopefully, and things pan out very, very well for us in the early positionings of that. And then I want to talk about very briefly to get things signed up and signed out. I want to talk about the fact that our offense needs to perform at a high level this upcoming season. Just because I went into last year kind of believing that into last year, right? So we understand this is not true, but I went into last year kind of thinking, hey, our defense is going to be all right. Our defense is going to be great. Our offense has to at least be good enough, to help our defense win games. And as of course, all we know, it was the complete opposite. And so we have T. Higgins in the building. We have Mike Gesicki still in the building. We actually brought back Samaje Perine, which is something that I was pretty excited about, happy about having him in the building just for, veteran leadership types of things in that regard. But I also want to say, it is still about our offense, because us keeping T. Higgins, us having these young offensive linemen in the building, us having the best quarterback in the league, in my personal opinion, in Joe Burrow, us having the best wide receiver in the league in Jamar Chase, in my personal opinion, our offense still has to be elite. All right. Our defense is still going to be fighting up the hill. And I get that. I respect that. And I'm here for it. But everything is going to be on the precipice of our offense. Okay. We are going to be talking about this in the near future. A lot more conversation had about our Cincinnati Bengals. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.